Here's a really cool feature in Softube Amp Room that I use a lot to speed up my workflow for finding the right guitar tone. So in pretty much all the songs that I do, I have two differently arranged guitar parts for the main guitar track. So I'll usually, as an example, maybe I'll be doing open chords in the guitar that's panned hard left, and I might be doing a riff based on those open chords, or maybe inverted chords or different positions of the same chord on the right, just to give the song a bit of a different flavor. So instead of having two of the exact same guitar parts in each speaker, doing it a little bit different so it gives it a little bit of life and flavor. Now it's pretty easy to kind of just add your guitar plugins on each of these tracks and then close one plugin, open up another one, put them in two different windows, try them side by side. But something in the Softube Amp Room that makes this a little bit easier is, first, in Logic there is something called track stacks. So I take these two guitar tracks and then I create a track stack, which basically just routes the output to a track stack here. So think of it as an auxiliary bus. It's basically the same thing. But now I can add an instance of the amp room just on one track, and then I can organize this however I want. So one of the cool things I like about this amp room plugin is you have complete freedom to organize your signal chain however you want. So if you want your speaker first and your amp head second, go for it. You can route anything in any possible way, which is really cool. So if I wanted, say, the Vox there, and then maybe I want a Plexi Super Lead down here, you can see it automatically creates a split of those tracks, and then the magic happens when you go up here to the top and you click the stereo button here. So I could have just the channel routing for mono left or mono right or stereo. So it's going to take signals from both of those tracks that are inside the track stack, regardless of how I have them panned in the DAW, and it's going to run the left signal through the Vox amp here and the right signal through the Marshall. So before I enable this, let's just take a quick listen to these two parts. And my brain is hearing the left guitar should be like a Vox style with some tremolo on it, and then the right should be a little bit dirty, but I'm not exactly sure. So instead of dealing with two different plugins and flipping back between windows, all I need to do, let me just add the cabinets on here quickly. And then now I'm going to hear, once I've got the stereo enabled, and then I have the mix panned to the left for this signal and panned to the right for this. Turn the output down. And for this song, the Plexi is not really a good choice for what I want to get out of this, so I can just get rid of that, and then I can put a different amp head here. I can get rid of this entirely, choose a different cabinet. Let's take an open cabinet here. So that doesn't have enough grit for what I want to do, so I can, let me just add preamp. And maybe I want to add a tiny little bit of distortion, so let's use the Gavna. And I can have individual delay and reverb on each of these channels, or I can combine that at the end. So if I wanted to put in the same reverb on both, and there you go. You can customize this however you want within the split here. If I only wanted certain frequencies to go to the left and the right channels, I can set a crossover here. So I could have all the frequencies below, 688 hertz that would be going through the left signal, and then everything else above that would be going through the right signal. And this just makes the workflow a lot easier. Yes, you could do this with individual plugins, but I really like the way that they've set this up, especially with the split controls here and the mix controls here. You can flip the phase on these things as well, and you can get as creative as possible. So this makes it much quicker for me to find the right guitar tone for my songs. Hope this helped you out. Remember to like and subscribe.